Hello guys and welcome to this second video of the week number 7. So as I mentioned before, explanation will be quite short, so you can stop the video here and you go to the post of the assignment number 2 for the week. You will find an attachment that is called Elective Test 1 2019 V. Okay, so basically I am showing you over here, I am sharing with you the test that I did, that I applied last semester. Every semester I change my test, I create a new one. So I normally use the former ones for worksheets, for practice and different things. So precisely that is what I want you to do here. This is like an aid for you in order to practice for the test that we will have on the next week. Okay, so we'll go little by little and I will try to explain over here. So please download it and open it. It says Elective Literature and Language Teaching Test number 1, name, date, name of the book you're reading. Okay, so here is where this is going to change. That is why it is pretty important that you watch the videos, okay? Because if somebody downloads the thing and just writes, it's going to make a mistake and the assignment will be wrong, okay? So pay attention. Instead of name of the book you're reading over here, everybody will work with the last question by Isaac Asimov, okay? So this first part won't be somehow... we're not going to use the book that you're reading right now for the assignment, but we're going to use the last question by Isaac Asimov that at this point should be clear, understood, read, reread maybe, or something like that, okay? So the question number 1 says this. Consider the book you're reading, so you're going to omit that, and it will be consider the last question by Isaac Asimov. Evaluate if it would be overall, in general, a good choice or not to work with the age group that you were assigned. Justify your answer. Analyze the following aspects. Okay? So, you are going to, in general, read or remember the story. And you are going to decide if this would be a good choice or not a good choice, if it would be a bad choice for the group that you were assigned. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that if you go down a little bit on the file, you will see that there is a group of audiences. Yes, it says after the letters of the alphabet A, B, C, G until the end, there's a list that says elementary school, high school, university semester 1 of BA in English program, University intermediate levels of BA in English program, University advanced levels of BA in English programs. Okay, so let's imagine that this first semester, it's the first semester, then intermediate, we will be talking about further 5th semester, and advanced will be a 9 or 10 semester, right? Let's say students that are studying an English-based career, like yourselves, right? Then we have the same, but for other careers. Yes, other careers that are not English-based, such as Spanish BA, or such as architecture, or law, or I don't know, you name it, sociology, whatever, right? And then we have the 3 levels again. First semester, intermediate levels, and advanced levels, right? Take into account, and I think that you should be aware of this, and you know people in other careers, that the emphasis on English, even when they have already taken 2 or 3 semesters, or I think it's 5, like the I don't remember completely, but I think it's between 3 and 5 levels of English that they have to take throughout the career, and well, they don't normally reach let's say a level beyond B1, being really optimistic, right? Sometimes they don't even are able to get to A2 or something like that. So take that into account, right? And do your research and think about a little. So those are the other 3 possibilities. Language center, and language center, you will find teens, you will find kids, you will find like different public. But what let's say is more important for me is the population and what sort of population goes to a language center. Most of the people that go to they take English in the career, for example, it is because they have to, they don't have a choice. Sometimes people in language centers, they have a choice, right? They want to learn English for a job, for a trip, for I don't know, taking advantage of their time. Or sometimes, yes, there are also teens or kids that are sent by their parents. But there's a difference in there, right? In terms of schedules, in terms of time invested, in terms of money and how much they can be exigent with you, well, etc., right? And then there's a final category that is adults, okay? So that's another one, like people with maybe different interests and different expectations about the course, and that will be it, right? So as I mentioned, I am going to put our classical list of people, and in front of each person I am going to write a number, and that will be it, your assigned one, okay? So let's imagine that you got elementary school, yes? So you're going to analyze each one of these aspects with the last question for elementary school, right? So how much internalization potential has the last question for elementary school? Is there a genuine context provided or not in the last question for elementary school? Is there any motivation potential? Are there any problems? What will be the needs and abilities required for it? Do you think that the linguistic and stylistic level of the text would be problematic or an advantage, or not relevant at all? What sort of background information will be required for them? It will be necessary to prepare editions and study guide for them. Do you think that it's relevant to include literary criticism? That's it, right? So what I would recommend you do would be maybe writing a short explanation for each one of these things. With 2 or 3 sentences, I think will be more than enough. And also, depending on the population, some of them maybe will be, the correct answer will be, this is not necessary for them, for example, right? So do that. Now, some other people prefer like to write a whole body of text, I don't know, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, in which they analyze like all the aspects, right? Of course, the idea is that in the end you compare benefits versus advantages, because I'm sure that in none of the populations like everything is perfect, right? Or in none of the population everything is terrible. Like there must be at least one thing that you could use for this, and that would be it, right? So you decide, to say if it is a good idea to select this last question for that public or not. Okay, so that is like the conclusion that you must reach after analyzing all these different aspects. Is something that we have already done in class with other texts, one by one, with some of your texts. Well, a lot of different things that we have like created in class. So should be applied over here. Okay, so that would be the number 1, and let's say the one that would take somehow a longer time, right? Very well. Then we have the number 2. Yes, the question number 2 that says pick a grammar topic. Propose an activity for a specific population of your choice. Okay, so in this case you are not restricted to the population that I assign you. You can change if you want. Let's imagine that in the question number 1 I assign you elementary, but you don't like that for the last question. So what you're going to do is to select another one that you think is better. You say, okay, no, I want university advanced levels. Okay, so first of all, pick a grammar question: vocabulary, let's say particular tense, adjectives, irregular verbs, present perfect, I don't know, modal verbs, but whatever that has to do with grammar. Okay, so you're going to pick that one, select the population, and then this is where this is going to change. Okay, in the test I said based on the book you're reading. Please skip that, forget that. It's not about the book you're reading, it is about the last question. Okay, so that may contribute to learn or reinforce such grammar topic. So you are going to pick this grammar topic, whatever you want to pick. This will be more like in function of the story itself, right? So you probably will have to read it again and analyze it, check it, and then decide what to do with it, and select that grammar topic and design an activity. Yes, so imagine that this is going to be part of your class, and you're going to design an activity. It can be a game, it can be just a worksheet or something like that. It can be I don't know, a role play. It might be a guessing game, a memory game, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. It says briefly describe the activity and make a list of the skills and or sub-skills that can be fostered with the proposed activity. Okay, so well, one more time, remember, pick the grammar topic. Let's imagine that it's present perfect, yes, and then select the population. Let's imagine that it's university advanced levels, and then you briefly describe the activity. Okay, so you're going to say, well, what I'm going to do is this. For example, let's imagine that you're going to do a memory game with the name of the characters, right? So you describe that activity. You don't need to make the flashcards, or you don't need to make the cutouts or anything else. You're just going to describe how would you do it. Okay, again, you don't need to do it for real. You just describe. Of course, it should be like a description that is clear enough so I can get the idea of it, right? And then you're going to make a list of the skills and or sub-skills that can be fostered with the proposed activities. Okay, so we know the basic skills, the 4 basic skills. So you can say, with this activity that I propose, I'm going to reinforce one of them or 2 of them or all of them in this way. And remember, I hope that by this level you already know what are the sub-skills of each skill, right? If you haven't, or you don't remember, well, I strongly recommend that you look for that, right? So speaking has some skills, writing has some sub-skills, reading have some sub-skills. What are sub-skills? So for example, a sub-skill of reading is maybe skimming, and another sub-skill will be scanning, yes, and like that. Like all the skills have like a ton of different sub-skills that you can develop. So that's it. Now, of course, the idea is that you don't only mention them, but at least briefly mention why do you think that such skill or sub-skill can contribute with the activity that you propose. Okay, so bottom line, remember, all of these activities should be done with the last question. Okay, very important that you bear that in mind. I am very clear if somebody just downloads the thing and does it exactly as it is, it will be not valid. Okay, I will grade that, but not with a very nice grade, right? So please make sure that you watch this video and the former one, of course, and you completely understand what is it that is expected from you and your work. Okay, now this activity as well will be collective for people, or 2 or 3 or 1, and that's it. Okay, please take into account this is let's say a sample of what I did last semester, and it's pretty similar to the previous and to the previous and to the previous. I just changed certain things and certain ideas, but it's mostly what let's say I have explained already on the course. So you see it as an example of what could be the evaluation for next week. Also, careful with the time. Yes, let's say that this is an evaluation that is designed to be carried out in 2 hours maximum. Yes, I mean, the assignment that you're going to do right now, collectively with 3 other people in a group of 4, well, mm, hopefully you will do it in no time. Yes, because you're doing it collectively. The real evaluation will be something similar to this, and it will be individual. So please check your times, your timing, your rhythm, right? And try to practice a lot of these, because these are like concepts that should be automatic and that you should be able to employ and to implement very, let's say, automatically somehow. Yes, because we have worked very hard with this throughout the semester. So hopefully you will be in total capability of working this individually. Okay. Well, guys, that's it. Those are our 2 assignments for this week. Remember, please, that we have the meeting, so hopefully we can discuss certain things over there. Remember to continue reading your book. It is essential, as you can see in this evaluation. I mean, the questions were completely based on your book. So you can imagine that if you arrive to evaluation like this and you haven't read the book, well, it will be a let's say a secure fail, right? So it's important that you're able to do that. Well, guys, that's it. Thank you very much. Good luck. See you around, and hugs. Bye bye.